Hey there guys, what is happening? My name is Sumed Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I'm going to speak to you guys about heuristics, or mental shortcuts, also called rule of thumb. Now, if you've ever read the book Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, you'll understand that there's two systems or ways of thinking. So heuristics are really about thinking fast. Heuristics is derived from a Greek word which means to discover. A heuristic generally describes a rule or a method from an experience that you had. It helps you understand it almost through a process of elimination and very quick decision making based on a trial and error process in your mind. I'm making this video not to be a proponent of inaccurate thinking because, heuristics, a lot of times we make it based on quick decisions and we make those snap judgments about other people or decisions based on a certain situation.
Chip away my life!
However, it's important to understand that this is a practical method. It is not the most optimal method. However, once you get really good at understanding that your heuristics are working sometimes unconsciously, you can then take the power over making better decisions and making better choices. Okay? So this is why I'm introducing this topic to you, especially in regards to the flow state. When you are in the flow state, you just make those quick, helpful, rapid decisions, and you normally make those decisions based on when you're feeling really good. You're making those decisions based on your past or because you've been primed to think that way. You want to be woke, basically, is what I'm saying, and understand, use this in that level. First and foremost, we have the representativeness heuristic. The representativeness heuristic is judgments based on an existing persona. So let's say you have a judgment, you have an idea about somebody. Maybe it's based on how they look, maybe it's based on how they appear to be, how are they representing themselves.
Please, mama, don't make me go.
Right? Like, for instance, we're going to trust somebody in a suit a lot more. For instance, if you had a guy who's jacked, right, who had big arms, and you had another guy who had like 0 arms, right, you would choose the guy who had bigger arms for
who would rather win in an arm wrestling contest.
Who would rather be a librarian, and you choose the guy with glasses because you think like, oh, he's been reading so many books that his eyes are, now have glasses. You're just making these snap judgments based on people's appearance or based on how they're representing themselves. Next, we have an availability heuristic. So this is what we have immediate and easy access to.
Is Bob a lawyer or a firefighter?
If we grow up around other lawyers, we're thinking about going to law school, we watch law, crime shows, then we're more likely to say lawyer, just based on that fact, because we haven't really seen that many firefighters growing up. Okay, maybe we can think of like one example of a firefighter, but we can think of like, oh, Harvey Specter from Suits, like all of these other examples, right, of lawyers. Because it's so easy and familiar to us and it's easy to access, we'll rather choose that as an option. The third one is a recognition heuristic. Recognition is all about choosing the thing that has a higher value and is recognized by more people. If you had to choose between Coca-Cola and some random diet soda company that you've never heard of, you choose Coca-Cola because you're familiar with it, because you recognize it much more. It has a higher value. It's worldwide. Mr. Worldwide. It's worldwide compared to the other one, which you have no clue about. So that's a recognition heuristic. Man, I often have different types of heuristics that I use. Like, I have a default set of outfits that I like to wear right now, especially during lockdown. Like, I don't want to waste time getting ready, so I just pick the kind of basic clothes that I have, and just to save time in that area. And then I have other heuristics, let's say, like, I have this one spot, to shoot these videos, and so I don't want to waste time in other ways. Actually can be very helpful for you to make these fast decisions, because then it really allows you to use that time to do something else. So these mental shortcuts can really help you out in different scenarios. These are cognitive tools, okay? These are cognitive tools that help you make quicker decisions and faster judgments. Sometimes, it's not about making that decision quickly. We have to sit down, be slow with it, and really analyze it. It's cold outside, baby, it's cold outside.
Really can't stay, baby, it's cold outside.
Maybe it's cold outside, and you go outside, and there's a little breeze, so the next day you wear a jacket. You kind of know that based on yesterday, you're predicting that today there'll also be cold. And it is. And guess what? You made the right decision. You wore a jacket today. Another example of a heuristic that I think is really powerful is that, a lot of people believe that the world is much more violent today based on what they're seeing on the media, right? They're showing all of these graphic images that are scaring us and thinking the world is collapsing, the world is in this very scary place. And, that can make us believe and create a snap judgment in our minds that the world is actually becoming more violent. Let's say your friend says,
Yo, you better check out this stock.
you read it on some forum somewhere that this is a really good stock, and then you read some article in The Economist praising the stock. So you think actually it's from 3 different sources, but maybe your friend read that same article and then the same article was posted, in that forum that you saw. It's actually one source, but it's been diluted. But you think it's 3 different sources, and so you make the decision that these are 3 separate sources. That means everybody's right. Everybody's praising the stock, so I guess I'll go for it. So Nielsen has heuristics for usability, and this is great if you're a project designer or if you're creating any kind of product, basically. You want to notice that you have these playing into your design. First one is
visibility of system status.
you want to kind of know that things are under control, that you have a sense of control. If we take a look at our phone, we notice the battery up here, we notice the Wi-Fi symbol, the network. So we have all of these different things that we can look for, assuring that, all right, it's under control. So imagine how insecure you'd feel if this information were missing. If you didn't know whether you're connected to the Wi-Fi or not. If you didn't have signs or icons or any kind of indication. So when people interact with any system, you should get immediate feedback. And immediate feedback is a really great element of the flow state. Understand, like a loading spinner, showing that, okay, something is loading. It's giving them a sense of safety and familiarity and comfort. All right, it's loading right now. I'm going to get it downloaded. So that maybe that hit of dopamine that when it does download or upload or whatever, that it gives them a sense of purpose and control. Okay, the second one is the match between the system and the real world. You have a trash can on your computer just like you have a trash can in real life.
Garbage.
We have design clues like add to shopping cart, right? Something called bookmarks, different folders for different documents, which is something that we do in the real world as well. Some people just assume that it's gonna work better if I know what it is.
This is the dollar store. How good can it be?
The next thing is user control and freedom. You should have a clear emergency exit somewhere. You have to have a willingness to walk away, an undo button. So if you accidentally delete something, right? The next thing is having consistency. Okay, so consistency and standards. Have you noticed the copy-paste functionality works exactly the same, no matter what app you're using? Consistency is one of the strongest contributors to usability. Then it's error prevention.
You've forgotten to attach a file to this email, but you wrote "are attached" in this message. But there are no files attached. Would you like to share this anyway?
So there's something called a spell check. When the system or the product is working for us and not against us, it becomes like our friend.
You actually have the chip reader now?
Oh yeah?
Oh, it's not gonna work with that kind of...
Transaction completed.
Then we have recognition rather than recall. So let's say turn left with an arrow is better recognition than if you just say turn left. That might not work as well. Okay, if you have the arrow, we know we've always seen the arrow. We know, oh, arrow pointing this way, we go that way. Then the next one is flexibility and efficiency of use. Every single user is very unique. Offer appropriate functionality to both inexperienced users and experienced users. Next is help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. Operation can be completed is a bad example of an error. Okay. A good example of an error is, the file you have to upload is a type we don't understand. Supported images are JPEG, PNG, and GIF. Help and documentation is the next one. So, well-written documentations, frequently asked questions, tutorials.
What will you learn? That your actions have consequences!
So these are all examples, guys. I hope this video helps you out today. Hope it gives you a new perspective on how to use heuristics as well as use it to influence others. It's a topic that's complex, but it's meant to make things easy, so that's the paradox. However, I think that once you learn to delve deep into the rabbit hole of heuristics, you can really find something that works for you and fine-tune it according to how you want it to be. And we all make, quick decisions, rule of thumb decisions at all time. If you haven't done so already, I want to introduce a heuristic to you right here, which is to hit that subscribe button so you can get more content like this. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary.